Hey guys, my name is Brandon and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you like what you see in here, you're more than welcome to hit the subscribe button so you stay notified every time I upload a new video. Okay, let's get straight on with today's video.
Hello, my name is Brandon, and in today's video, that feels really strange to say because I've literally not done this in like 2 years. I just took some time away, I'll be honest, so I don't know how regularly I'm going to post, and I kind of said that in some of my other videos as well. I've decided to come back with a strong comeback video idea. For those of you that have kept up with my channel over the years, you'll know that 1, I've been to university, and that 2, I've done quite a lot of kind of tips, advice, things I wish I would have done at university, or things that I did do that I wish I didn't do, or kind of things like that. So I actually have like a list of, I don't even know how many questions here. Half of them are probably irrelevant. I'll be able to answer them in like 15 seconds, but I have like 4 pages worth of questions, so I'm just going to kind of do a very quick Q&A. I know I'm not the kind of person who can answer questions quickly, and I do waffle a lot, I do understand that, but for today's video, my aim is to try and keep it under 30 minutes, so if I can do that, that's fantastic. If we get to 29 and a half, I may actually just stop talking, like I am about to stop doing now. So the first question is quite standard, so what was my biggest transition going from secondary school to university? I think for me, I did have a gap year in between, so it was kind of different as opposed to like the normal straight from school, straight to university kind of way that people usually do it. Yeah, I did my A-levels, kind of had my issues throughout that. Then I did my gap year where I was working for a charity for a year. For me, that was the year where I gained confidence, kind of worked out who I was as a person, was making new friends. And they said making better friends, that makes me sound like I didn't have any friends or didn't like anyone. Making more friends. I think that's the thing. Whoever comes in and out of my life, it's not this person's better than that person, or this person's not as good as this person. Everyone is good if they stay, and if they go, they're just missing out. I knew at the same time I had to kind of do something that would help me get set up for the future. My number one thing with university was I kind of just wanted to get as far away from London as possible. I'd been there my whole life, and then as soon as I'd finished my gap year job, I kind of was just like, yeah, let's apply for Oxford Brookes, let's apply for Nottingham. I think I applied for the University of East Anglia as well, but the course that they had as an offer kind of wasn't really what I was looking for. I just kind of saw media and just assumed it was right for me. I think the one biggest transition is that you only had to focus on one specific subject, so you may have multiple modules, or you may have different kind of things to cover, but in terms of the actual subject, it was kind of just English, or just media, or just philosophy, or whatever you decided to study. So yeah, biggest transition was kind of doing everything on my own, knowing that I'd only have to do the one subject, being able to be independent, I think, kind of being away from family and friends, kind of having my own space, being able to do what I wanted all the time, and also that ability to create my own schedule. So yeah, to be independent and yeah, have a structure to my own life. That was a bit of a waffle for question 1. You know, we're already 4 minutes in, so let's try and keep the rest of the answers short. What do I miss about secondary school? Well, that's a difficult one, because I think that's the thing. Once you kind of close the book, you don't want to go back. In terms of what I miss, I kind of maybe miss, I don't know, in the weird way, being the odd one out. Because obviously back at school, like, I didn't really have that many friends. I had friends and I was in different groups or whatever, but I wasn't kind of the one that everyone would go to like gossip to or invite out to parties and things. So I think I kind of miss being the odd one out, because actually now I'm probably even more unique than I already was back then, but it's actually been used to my advantage. So yeah, I think kind of that's probably the only thing I do miss. I guess some of the funny things I was able to get away with, like missing PE or making out I was ill, making out like I had my PE kit left at home, for example. So yeah, there's a few things I do kind of miss, but yeah, the majority of it I'm kind of glad that it's over in the nicest way possible. My school was great, it's just I didn't really enjoy school. I like following rules, but didn't really enjoy the whole studying and having to make friends, and basically everything was just forced rather than it be my own decisions. What opportunities have I had at university? I probably have already done a video about this, or a blog post, so for those of you that haven't seen my blog, I have got a whole blog about all the different things I've done at university, the different music reviews I've done, the different experiences I've been part of. So if interested, I may do a video about that. But in terms of opportunities, I did quite a lot of content related stuff. So I was a social media content creator for the university. I also became a mentor, car park and security advisor. I did radio work from kind of remotely. Yeah, that was the thing back then as well in 2019. So yeah, I think it kind of stemmed from me just knowing that I needed to make friends, kind of saying yes to everything, and one small little thing at a time led to the next small thing at a time, which then led to me having opportunity after opportunity. So I think for anyone that does go to university, if you want to make the most of it, just kind of say yes to everything. The worst that's going to happen is you do it and you don't like it, but if you say no straight away to something that you kind of could do or kind of not too sure, you may regret it if the person who actually ends up doing it actually loves it. So yeah, for someone going to university or already there, just kind of try and say yes to as many things as you can. Should education focus more on maths and science or music and art? Now this is a really, really interesting question, because I kind of think it's talking about, should we focus on the more academic kind of subjects or the kind of more creative subjects? I think for me the answer is both, because for someone like myself, I do think I am quite literate, so I'm quite good with my words, making poems and songs, and obviously being able to talk adequately. It is also important to kind of having a basic understanding of things like maths and science and English. I know at school they say, oh, you will use these things in the future, blah, blah, blah. Majority of the time you don't, but it's kind of good to have a basic form of understanding, so that if it comes up in conversation, instead of you being the quiet one, you can at least say something about the subject. Or, oh, I remember that from biology. Or, oh, you know, actually someone told me that in French class. So just kind of being able to be a bit more relevant rather than just, you know, I don't understand, or like sitting back kind of not being involved in the conversation. So I think that was kind of a question I highlighted. I actually skipped over a few because they're quite boring questions, but that particular one, I think it's kind of, yeah, academic or creative. I think both are just as important, because you may think that someone that does maths and science and that kind of thing cannot be creative, but I know a lot of smart people who also do music, who also can teach, who also can sing, mentor, those kind of things. But then I also know a lot of people in music, art, drama, that kind of world, who academically, they may not have preferred to go down I don't want to call it the smart route, but they didn't necessarily want to go down that route. They wanted to be more creative. They still are very smart in their own way in terms of the knowledge that they have in their subject or their industry, or maybe they have their knowledge and skills elsewhere, so maybe life skills or social skills or development skills, so that kind of thing. So I feel like it's that thing of, don't judge someone by what they study or what they don't study. It's kind of more, as a person, are you willing to go out of your way to learn something new or learn something different to help you stand out? So I think I kind of fit more on the creative side. I wouldn't say I'm dumb, I wouldn't say I'm smart, I would just say I'm creative, and the way in which I do certain things helps me to get through certain situations and meet certain people just because of the way that I am. Why is self-love important at university? I think self-love is important purely because you're going for university. You are going to university for yourself. Obviously, you may want to go to impress your parents or to impress loved ones or that sort of thing. But at the end of the day, you're going to be the one that gets that degree. So you're going to be the one that has to work hard. So self-care is just simple things like maybe washing your face, having early nights, taking time away from social media, obviously putting focus on yourself, maybe going to the library, having kind of a one-on-one with yourself, if that's even a thing. But I think self-love is more than just, oh, look at me, I love myself kind of thing. Self-love is just taking care of yourself, both mentally, physically, emotionally, and financially. They're the kind of 4 things that I would kind of associate with self-love. 100k cash or 100k to cover the cost of education. I think for me, I would probably take the 100k cash. For me, when I was going to university, the last thing I was thinking about was the payments or the money. Obviously, I know I'm in big debt now, and I know I'm going to have to start paying some of it at least back. But I think for me, at that moment in time, that's part of the university experience. You are naturally going to be in debt. You are naturally going to earn money and owe money back to people. So it's kind of that thing that I was prepared for. I just kind of didn't want to think about the numbers until I actually had to think about the numbers. So I think for me, I'd rather take the cash, because then I can invest that in buying new outfits, potentially buying a car, buying a house, that kind of thing. So for me, it's probably better to have the cash, because then I know exactly how much I've got and how much I can spend and budget. Whereas 100k to cover cost of education, yeah, it could get me into multiple master's degrees or undergraduate degrees, but yeah, that's not really, yeah, for me, it wouldn't really feel like part of the actual university experience or the lifestyle, because I've kind of just got someone to pay off the degree for me. So yeah, that wouldn't really be the route I would go down. Are power naps effective? I think it depends how long you're planning to nap for. I think for me, if I was to have a 5 or 10 minute nap, I wouldn't wake up, even if I had set an alarm. My eyes would not open because I'm such a deep sleeper. Even recently, I have taken 2-3 hour naps, so they kind of work. Okay, you may wake up feeling even worse than when you went to sleep, but at least you know your body feels that little bit better. So just quick wipe your face, have a quick shower, make something to eat, something like that, and then you can just kind of get back to where you were before, but even better. So yeah, power naps do work, but not too short. And obviously, again, not too long, because yeah, either way is just as bad. Would you rather study in a group or would you rather study alone? I think for me, I kind of did a mixture of both. I actually put this question in myself. I can't actually remember putting that in, but I know that was definitely my question, because I am actually quite good at doing both. I think with your own time, your own space, that kind of brings back to the self-love situation, where you're kind of putting yourself first, putting your own revision and research and things first. And then obviously studying in a group, you kind of have other people to rely on, or not necessarily rely on, but to kind of work with. Or if you have like a group assignment to do, or even a solo assignment, you can kind of get advice and tips from each other. You can share your good points and they can share their bad ones, and then you can help with the bad ones to make them better, and you kind of just share words with each other. So yeah, it's kind of important for both of those. A positive attribute to have at university, I think the number one for me is just being open-minded, and I know this one's going to maybe be a bit contradictory, but confidence. Even if confidence is not something you show on the outside, having an inner confidence with your own ability. So I think that's a nice way to phrase it, because I think for me, although during my first year I didn't really speak to many people, I didn't really join many clubs, societies, that kind of thing, I kind of inside knew my worth. I knew that I was confident, and I knew that when I was around the right types of people, it would make me come out of my shell. And little and behold, in my second year, well, obviously in first year I'd obviously started to make friends and build connections, but during my second year, that's when the good opportunities started to happen. That's when I say the good people started walking into my life, both university and personal. So I think for me it's kind of, yeah, positive attributes to have. It's just being open-minded, obviously wanting to learn because you are there still to study as well as have fun, and kind of having that inner confidence, even if you're not confident on the outside, because naturally over time you will become more confident, you will find your people, and then that'll make your university experience that even much better than it already will be. If I could go back, what would I do differently? And again, I know this is a question that a lot of people answer and go, no, I wouldn't do anything differently, and la la la. I think for me, I genuinely wouldn't change a thing. I think everything that happened for a reason. The good things, the bad things, the strange things, the dangerous things, the exciting things, the sad things. I think everything that happened for a reason. I mean, there was not that many bad things that happened. It was just kind of every so often I would lose someone at a nightclub, or you know, I'd see someone on the floor in pain and I'd try and help them out. I'd see like a teacher fall over on campus. Okay, inside I might have a little bit of a giggle, but then I'd actually go over and be that person to help. My go-to snack was probably something like fruit, so bananas, raisins. I usually have bananas with custard. That was kind of the thing I went for, or salmon on toast. I wouldn't really call that a snack, I'd really call that lunch, but you know, it was kind of either something fruity, water, quite boring, but you know, I did. Or yeah, bananas and custard, or salmon on bread, or like a little mini pizza. You could just chuck it 10 minutes in the microwave, or the oven, sorry. Don't put it in the microwave. Put it in the oven, and then that was kind of lunch. And my cleaning tips. If you see dirt, if you see dust, if you see dirty plates, just try and clean as regularly as you can. It doesn't mean you need to clean every single day or be that person to empty the bin and sort that out every single day, but maybe if you're living with a group of people, have like a designated bin day, designated washing up day, designated cleaning day for clothes or something like that, so at least you kind of have a bit of a routine. If you're obviously living alone, just make sure you have the simple things. It's like a Hoover, vacuum cleaner, that's the same thing, dustpan and brush, and then the sprays and polishes and sponges and all that sort of thing. So I think that's the thing, just think, what do I need to clean? You need to clean the floor, bathroom, maybe, I don't know, obviously put the bin out and different windows and stuff, but don't go all out buying stuff you literally don't need. Just think, what do I need to clean, or what looks dirty, and then just clean it. What do you do, or what did you do when you were not studying? I was kind of just making content all the time. I did do TikToks very rarely. Don't actually do that anymore. I've still got my account when I used to have my long hair, so I kind of just keep it for that, but I haven't posted anything in, like 3 years or something like that. The university takeovers that I mentioned before, and then also YouTube videos, going out clubbing, going out seeing friends, getting involved in projects. So when I wasn't studying, I was still doing study-related stuff, or my own little personal projects, or seeing friends, or like FaceTiming friends and stuff like that back home. Have you made any DIY products? So I wouldn't really call it a product, but for a lot of different people's birthdays, I have made personalised cards. I know I am the sort of person that would because I was at university, I used to have pictures all over my university wall, both in first year, second year and final year. So I did have a lot of photos kind of sitting around, not in frames or just in a box somewhere. And I was like, well, I need to do something with these photos, and this person's birthday's coming up. So turned it into a little collage, put it in a card, wrote a few notes, and then just gave it as a birthday present. So I have done that for 5 or 6 different people. I don't think I've made any personalised things, but I have online created like a pillow. So it was a pillow with my face with one of my university mates on it, Rianne. Everyone knows who Rianne is, so there's a picture of the two of us on the pillow, so I gave that to her. I think for my nan, I made, again, I think I kind of made pillows, mugs, that kind of thing with my face on, like happy birthday nan or happy birthday whatever. So yeah, it wasn't really DIY, it was more kind of just, I had an idea, there was a product already online, and I kind of merged it together. Showers in the morning or showers in the evening? Very interesting question. Again, I don't want to ramble too much, but I think for me it's better to have a shower in the evening, because then when you wake up, you've already gone to bed clean and ready to start your day, rather than having to take an extra 20 minutes off of your sleep to wake up, to shower, to then get on with the day. It kind of doesn't really make sense. Least and most favourite pizza topping. I think most favourite, something like chicken, barbecue chicken, pepperoni. Least favourite, well, I don't know, because I don't actually eat anything on pizza that I don't like. I think the least favourite pizza topping that I know of would be this pineapple thing. So yeah, I don't eat pineapple. I know it's just purely water, but I don't eat pineapple, so that is something that I would say it would be my least favourite. My favourite type of cheese, probably mozzarella. Favourite type of curry, probably chicken korma. How long do I wait until I shave? Usually about a week or 2 weeks. Once I see the growth come back a little bit, then I'm like, okay, you've got to go. Secret admirer, I don't have. So I don't admire anyone, and there's no one that admires me, unless, you know, that's the secret admirer part. I haven't had any messages as of yet, so, you know, they're still secret. Thoughts on going vegetarian? Would never happen. I love chicken too much. Ghostly experiences? Yes. So I also put this question in. At university, I can't believe we didn't get this on camera, but I did go to one of my friend's houses. She made us dinner. We're having a chat about like life and stuff. And I just remember from the corner of my eye, I just looked out of the window and I just saw this thing standing there. So I've obviously kind of said some naughty words, kind of jumped back a bit like, what the hell? The friend that I was sitting with just started laughing. And this thing I saw outside the window was actually just a girl. She was just one of the neighbours. But because she was just standing there and she was in a black outfit, like I've never seen anything like it. I've never experienced anything like it. It was horrific. But also looking back, it was very funny. She came up the back stairs, so she came out to the back of the building because she locked herself out, so she just wanted us to let her in. So she's done that, and I've done a double take, and I've gone, oh my goodness, beep, beep, beep. And then she's kind of gone, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. And I was like, you scared the life out of me. So when we let her in, I was like, right, well, you can come in this time. If you do that again, I'm not letting you in. And then the only other one that I had was actually in the library. So I was friends, and still am friends with Moksha and Deepika, 2 Indian girls that I was living with. And yeah, so me and who was sitting there? Was it me and Moksha? Yeah, me and Moksha were just sitting there doing work or whatever. And we both I look over to the right hand side, and it's just kind of just a gap, like just blank space in the library. So I then looked back and I looked at her and I said, Moksha, did you see that? Because she also looked over and she was like, yeah. And I was like, what did you see? And she was like, well, I don't know, I saw something. Like, I was looking over in that direction and I saw something look over at us. A bit strange. And then the other girl obviously turned up, she sat down, done like everything was fine. She goes, no, Brandon, no, literally, what did you see? And I was like, I don't know, I saw something there. So that was kind of the second and probably the only other ghostly experience I've had. Again, it's not really scary, and it kind of just, if you weren't there, it wouldn't make sense. But yeah, I have had that several times. I think they're probably the only 2 prominent ones that I can remember. Weirdest food combination? Pretty much everything that I had at university. Like I would have beans on pizza, which was actually something I started back in food tech in secondary school, back in year 8, and I thought, this is nice. Yeah, I had pasta and some sort of fish, so tuna or salmon or something like that. So yeah, I think pretty much 99% of my food combinations were weird AF. So if you have a look at some of my previous videos or vlogs, you will see that I make weird things. But yeah, from those days, I'm now eating a lot more healthier, a lot healthier, however you say it. Yeah, I think I've kind of outgrown the weird food. I mean, every so often, off camera, I will have something naughty. Yeah, healthy, but naughty. Do I have a spam account on social media? Yes, I do have a spam Instagram account, but I am actually in the process of removing that. Spoiler alert, I'm actually downloading all of the clips from my spam account, and obviously the ones that are kind of not too bad, I'll post on my website, just kind of in the archives. and then obviously those that are kind of too not PG or maybe too exposy, I just won't post. I'll just send to the people that are in the videos. I kind of thought with my spam account it's nice to have, but at the same time I'm now not going to post anything else. So anything content wise I post will either be posted on my Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, website kind of thing. So yeah, I feel like I need to start doing, I think they call the YouTube shorts or something, so I could do YouTube shorts on a spam account. It'd be like funny videos, but we'll see. Do I stick to things that I already know and love, or do I like to branch out and learn more? Both. So there's always things that I know how to do that I will continue doing, and there's always things that I'm like, I'd like to learn how to do XYZ, and then I will go out of my way to try and learn it, whether I watch a tutorial, whether I ask someone for help or advice. That kind of just depends on the project or the thing. Yeah, I am one of those people that I do like to stick with the things that I know, but I also don't just want to sit and never learn. I constantly want to be doing something. So yeah, when I see something or hear something, I'm like, oh, that sounds quite cool, then I will obviously ask for help. One thing that you've learned growing up through education, I think for me, kind of putting yourself first. Again, kind of like with the university thing, with education, you are in control of your own education, so you know what you're good at, you know what you enjoy, you know what you maybe struggle with. So kind of just reaching out for help if you do struggle and kind of seeing who's there to help. Have you ever found someone really attractive but never had confidence to speak to them? Pretty much through my entire university experience. I see so many good looking guys and I just would not have the confidence to say hello. Like even now, if I was to walk down the street and see someone, if they were that good looking or if I was that self-conscious, I genuinely don't think I would go over and say hi. But I did have an idea that I was obviously wanting to get back into my photography again. So it could be a nice conversation starter to be like, oh, just to let you know, you are a really good looking guy. I'm not hitting on you, but I am a photographer, so if you do fancy some portraits, just let me know kind of thing. So haven't tried that one yet, but if I do, I'll probably be tweeting about it. These are all boring questions. Have you ever walked around the flat naked? Yes. Have you ever used a name generator or a poll to choose an activity with friends? Yes. So for those of you that know me, I'm very spontaneous, but I also can't make decisions. So I kind of one night was like, I want to do something, but I don't know what to do. We had a spin the wheel, which kind of was like stay in, go out, play Wii, go to the library, la la la. So that kind of decided our night out. Do you ever wear bangles or bracelets? Yes, it just kind of depends on the occasion. If I can be bothered, I'll put them on. But also I am in the process of kind of buying some new ones. Well, I haven't bought any, but I really need to get some new ones because I have thrown some of my old ones away. Most of you've paid for club entry, probably about £25, but that was a club in London, so that's why, yeah, I kind of don't really go clubbing in London anymore. Have you ever set a time 5 or 10 minutes early so you're never late? I always do that. So if I'm supposed to be meeting someone at 7:30, I will set an alarm for at least an hour before. And if I'm supposed to be there for 7:30, I will be there by 7:25 latest, or 7:28 if I'm literally running late. But yeah, you would never see me get anywhere on the dot or late. And if I do, I've generally just had an issue with transport, train, or just that day I was feeling a bit off. But 99.9% of the time, if someone tells me a time to be somewhere, I'm either there 2 or 3 minutes before, 5 or 10 minutes before, or sometimes even half an hour before. That's just the kind of person that I am. Is lying on the floor therapeutic? No. Have you had any scam calls? I wouldn't say a scam call, but I have had scam text messages from a food delivery company who guessed that I'd ordered, who made up that I ordered something, and then were asking me to come downstairs and collect the order where I didn't actually order anything, and it was probably someone that just wanted to start a random fight, or they had the wrong number. I did have a guy, I can't remember what his name was, or something with L, like Lawrence or Lauren or something like this on Snapchat, or Lorenzo or something, and it was kind of like a scam message for me to send him my email address and also £50, and then he would get me subscribers, or he would get me this. Obviously I didn't send that information. I think I actually did a whole YouTube video on it, so I will actually link that in the description as well. Anything that I speak about that's relevant or that I've made a video about, I will link those videos in the description so you can kind of have a little look, kind of get an insight as to these answers in more detail. Have I ever missed a trainer or a coach? Of course. Would you ever sleep in the library, or have you ever slept in the library during your education? I didn't sleep in the library, but I did have a little nap. So I think I did kind of take 20 minutes to just kind of relax. I did actually fall asleep, and then I woke back up like, oh my goodness, I'm still in the library. But I wouldn't purposely sleep there overnight. I had my own university place, so obviously stay at the library and then go home. Have I ever failed being on a diet? No, I've never actually been on a diet. Do I have all of my images and videos on my phone, or do I upload and delete them? So I actually have them kind of online anywhere. So there's a lot of photos, a lot of videos, and a lot of content that I actually physically don't have anymore. Whether that be photo shoots I've done, whether the photographer has lost the photos, whether I've uploaded videos to YouTube and things like that and then deleted all of the original content from my phone, or photos, again, kind of did photo shoots, lost half of them or lost some of them. But yeah, I kind of just, whatever I have online is kind of whatever I've been able to keep or find or save. On my phone at the moment, I think I only have 20 photos. So 20 individual pictures. I think I've got about 600 in recently deleted. I kind of, once I deal with what I've got, I don't need it and I can just continue making content. So yeah, I'm not one of those people to have thousands of photos on a phone or stored on Snapchat or stored wherever. Kind of, I put them on a blog post, a website, LinkedIn, print them out, stick them in a sketchbook, and then when I'm done with them, they're gone. How do I deal with chatty people? I think I just chat back or sometimes listen and only try and join in when I know that I can get a word in. Have you ever stopped filming a video because something went wrong just before you started? Many a times. There was actually a video I did of videos that I've never published, and that pretty much happened in all of those videos where I either said something or I kind of had a thought of, this video is kind of a bit boring, so I just deleted those videos. 3 must-haves on your grocery list. I would say ham, cheese, and bread. I don't have those 3 things all the time, but I think it's the most simple meal to have, kind of like a ham and cheese sandwich. Obviously a bit of ketchup, but that would be item number 4. But I think ham, cheese, bread, probably the 3 that are always on. Favourite place to study? Again, I think the library, purely because it's quiet and everyone is kind of there with that one goal of just studying. People are not there to party, people are not there to have fun, people are not there to sing and dance, although sometimes people did get loud. People were going to the library purely just to work. Do you like the rain? Absolutely. Favourite cooking show? Anything that they cook at a time when I've already eaten, otherwise it makes me hungry. I don't know if there's a particular cooking show that I enjoy, but I did used to love MasterChef Australia. Like, firstly, I love the Australian accent. Secondly, I used to make videos of the different contestants and kind of draw what they actually made in like a drawing form. I wish I would have kept some of those videos because I kind of kept them for myself, uploaded them to a private Google account, and then I deleted the Google account without saving the videos. So yeah, so I used to actually do that. So all the, I think it was from like MasterChef, I can't remember what year, but whenever they used to create the food, I used to draw it, make a little video and put like a little score and how they did it and what ingredients they used. It was really, really funny. It was really, really good, but literally no one else saw it apart from me. Had a bit of an issue. Yeah. Do you own a personal website? My simple answer is just yes. I think in total I've got about 5 different websites. So I've got my main website, my blog, photography, modelling and videography. So yeah, they're kind of the 5 that I post on. I don't really post regularly, but that's kind of where I put my content. So simple answer, yes. Do you use sarcasm? Literally all the time. Thoughts on the need or want method? So this was actually something I started with one of my friends, Maria, where we would go out shopping and she'd be like, oh, I need this, I need that. And I'd be like, well, do you need it or do you want it? So at first it was kind of a bit of a joke and it was kind of taking the mick. But then actually it has become something that even recently with other friends, with other people, I am kind of saying, well, do you actually need that? Or is it just something that you want? Is it something you actually need or you'd be happy if you got it kind of thing? So it's important. And it's kind of something that I do all the time whenever I'm going shopping or whenever I'm going for a walk. If I see something, I'm like, even if it's a discount, I'm like, do I need it or do I want it? And if it's just a want, then I just would add it to a list of things that I want and then wait for like a birthday or a Christmas or something like that to kind of be like, look, here's my list of wants. Give me whatever you can kind of thing. Favourite photo shoot? I think my favourite photo shoot, probably one of my favourites, probably has to be one of the ones I did with Kevin. So Kevin is one of the photographers I actually worked with in Nottingham. So I think he actually gave me like a cardigan thing and we did photos outside a gay club in Nottingham that's actually now closed down because of the pandemic. I think that was probably one of my favourites. I don't have a favourite because all of the photo shoots I do, people put in effort and obviously people have to edit those photos and get me in the right position kind of thing. So I would say this is one of my favourites. Favourite studying tips? Don't do it. No. Favourite studying tips? Study as hard as you can, but don't study too hard that your brain is kind of collapsing. Because I think that's the thing. You don't want to work for such a short amount of time that you actually don't do anything, but then you also don't want to overwork yourself that you then can't breathe, can't think, can't eat, can't function for a day. Kind of like a work hangover. So I think it's kind of having a balance, maybe a few hours working, a few hours chilling, a few hours working, maybe an hour watching TV, a few hours chilling, then maybe go to the toilet, kind of just work out what you need to do, but don't be 24 hours a day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year working. Firstly, there's loads of holidays in between that. Secondly, no one needs to work that hard. And thirdly, yeah, you need to take time out to do other things that are non-work related. Otherwise, you will just be a workaholic your whole life, and you'll never have kind of a social life or be able to meet people, because you would just be spending your time going, no, sorry, I can't socialise, I need to work. So you need to have that kind of balance. Can jealousy be a drive for humans to improve themselves, or is it purely a negative emotion? I think for me, jealousy is incredible. I think it's one of those things of, if you see someone that has something, or that does something, or that is something, or someone that you want to be, or that a place that you want to get to, jealousy can be good in that respect. It's kind of like, I'm really, really jealous of what you've got. I don't want to take it away from you, and I don't want to have exactly the same as you, but I want to get to a place that I can be made jealous of by other people. Again, I'm not one of those people to show off. I'm not one of those people to be like, look at everything that I've got. I'm just one of those people that can say, I've achieved X, Y, and Z at university and at school and that kind of thing. And then people go, oh, that's really, really good. I'm jealous of that, or I really wish I could do that. And it's just kind of giving back, being like, look, you've got to try this, you've got to put in this effort, or you've got to talk to these people. So I think jealousy can be a good thing. And I think for me, it's a drive. When I see successful people or celebrities that are making good money, or people on podcasts or people in the news that have their success stories, I'm jealous that they've done well. But at the same time, I'm like, I could be that next person to do that as long as I just keep working hard. Do you like interviewing people? I do when they say yes. I don't if they don't like interviews, because otherwise it's just then a bit awkward. It helped my confidence be grown, and it also helped my personality be shown that I'm not just like a normal standard interviewer. I can be funny, I can make a joke, I can laugh. A few naughty words might come out if I say the wrong thing in the question, but you know, it's about having fun and also getting the answers that you need to make whatever project you're doing worthwhile. How can you handle stressful situations? I think for me, and I said this to some of my friends as well, kind of seeing what the issue is. Can you resolve it yourself? If you can, take small steps to resolve that. If you can't, reach out to someone who you think can help, or you think has gone through something similar, and again, take small steps with that other person. So I think something like mentoring, for example, that's a good way for me to speak to the mentees and understand what their issues are, or what things they're going through. And then for me to be like, right, well, if you've tried this, this, and this, or if we take small steps 1, 2, and 3, they can then overcome that themselves. I've just been giving them a little tip, but they can then work out their own way to overcome that said issue. Square or circle? I would say circle, purely because there was a show called The Circle and I just loved it. Don't know where it's gone, but I hope it comes back. This is my last page of questions that I've not gone through. What is a song constantly playing in your head? Dua Lipa, One Kiss, because one kiss is all it takes to fall in love with me. Do you ever make up new vocabulary? No. Sometimes I speak gibberish, and sometimes I will say something completely wrong where I'm like, is that a new word? But generally, I don't just sit down and go, yeah, so I'm going to make sugar in the dictionary. Like, that's not what I do. Sometimes I just generally say stuff that's strange. What are the main barriers for those in your industry or the working industry in general? So my industry, eventually, I would like to be in the media industry. So I think the main barriers is for people to be taken seriously as professionals rather than just creatives, and also paying people what they deserve, because I know there's a lot of issues with creatives being underpaid or not being paid at all, or having their payments delayed, or kind of it being advertised as a job and then they'd only be volunteering. So kind of just taking advantage of those who are creatives. Yeah, it's that self-judgment or judging of other people based on how they look, or if they've come from a television show, for example, rather than judging the person for the person. Because don't get me wrong, obviously there's a lot of people on those kind of reality shows who come out from the shows and will just continue doing reality, but you also get those who do stand up for racism, or who do stand up for sexism, or who do stand up for LGBT rights. So they end up going on to write books, do interviews, be on podcasts, be kind of social media influencers, and also speak of these difficult topics. So yeah, it's kind of that thing of, although they've come from a reality show, although they've come from TikTok, or although they've come from somewhere like that, a very, very small percentage of those types of people in the creative world will be professionals, will go on to do creative things, and it's just kind of, they need to be paid for what they're doing. They need to have that recognition for what they're doing, and whether they're famous or whether they're behind the scenes creatives, they need to have acknowledgement for the work that they're doing online or offline. Does free time sometimes feel like a burden? I don't think so, because I think sometimes free time allows you to think. So if you are that sort of person to be working, when you do eventually have a 10-minute break or a half an hour break, you can sit down and brainstorm. You're recovering from doing all that work, so it's not really a burden, it's more of just a break to then continue working on whatever else you're working on. Do you ever think about the first time that you met someone and compare it to how you've known them as of now? I think yes. I mean, there are quite a lot of people that obviously everyone that I've met, I have met once, and then obviously continue to meet after that. Pretty much most of the people I'm still talking to. But it's kind of interesting to be like, yeah, they were so shy, or I was so shy, or they didn't really say much, or they were drunk, for example. And then when we continue to meet, it's like, oh, hang on, you are genuinely a nice person, or we've actually gone clubbing together, we've actually gone for a meal together, we've gone for a walk, or it's just been a one-on-one, having a chat somewhere in the library, for example. So I do sometimes think about that. And I think I would like to get more people involved with my YouTube channel. So people that I don't think would have actually got involved before, or people that I've met recently. So just kind of maybe having like a podcast or like a little section of being like, this is someone that I've met, or this is a new person to kind of tell a bit of their story kind of thing. So yeah, it's important to know how friendships develop from a first meet to now. But yeah, there are also some people that I've only ever actually met once, and then the friendships have either ended, like I don't talk to those people anymore, or it's just faded. So the only memory I have of that person is from that first and only meet, which is actually quite sad, because again, some of those people, genuinely lovely people, but they were the ones that kind of just didn't put in the effort to stay in touch, and it's now not going to be my responsibility to do that. So yeah, for people who want to stay in contact with me, you need to stay in contact with me, and I will try my best to reply and call people and send messages, but it's not going to be me 100% of the time, because I think going forward you have to just put faith, and you have to just put hope, and you have to just put effort in people that are going to give you hope, effort and faith back. What games are you addicted to? So I think for me, there were quite a few games that I used to play. Small Worlds was a virtual world game, absolutely loved that. 8 Ball Pool, so that was like a pool game, online multiplayer game. I sometimes played Minecraft, wasn't really my thing. But obviously still play like the Wii games, so Mario Party 8, Mario Kart, Brain Academy, that kind of thing. So yeah, a lot of the Wii games. And obviously recently I've started getting into Jackbox, GTA and Fortnite. So Jackbox is kind of like family friendly games, multiplayer games you can play online. Fortnite is obviously the killing game to kind of get to victory, and then obviously GTA is again another shooting killing game, but kind of you can play story mode as well. I'm not really a gamer, but I do like to try and play every so often. I do like to play Fortnite every now and then. And then yeah, final question, one thing that you have learnt from an employability advisor or lecturer. I think I kind of just learnt that you need to just sell yourself as best as you can, no matter how well you think someone knows you already. When I did like a mock interview when I was at university, one of the interviews that we did was for a media style related job. And in the interview, I kind of spoke about myself and some of the things that I've done. And then, yeah, when they were like, oh, so what kind of experiences have you got? I was like, okay, well, I don't really need to explain that because the people on the panel already knew me, but I didn't realise it was part of the mock interview to sell yourself. So I was like, yeah, so I did a bit of mentoring and did a bit of this. I'm a very open-minded person, kind of will say yes to everything. And that's probably the worst thing to say that you're open-minded to everything is kind of not great. And also the fact that I was applying for like this obviously mock media role and I was talking about being a mentor. Okay, it's good to have those skills, but I wasn't talking related to the job. The lecturer of mine, who obviously I knew that knew me, she was like, yeah, the interview is really, really good and you sold yourself really well, but for the type of job you've applied for, you've hardly given any of that kind of experience. So obviously we know you, but the employer wouldn't know you. And I think my answer was just like, oh, but I didn't realise I had to actually sell myself. I obviously I know that both of you know me already. And she's like, yeah, but that was the point of the mock interview, to pretend that we're not us. And I was like, okay, well that completely makes sense. So then since then, every single interview that I went for, even during COVID, I actually had quite a lot of interviews cancelled, but even during those kind of interviews, and even to now, like still doing interviews, it's kind of that thing of, I need to think about all the things that I've done, I need to think about the job that it is that I've applied for, and sell myself and make it relatable to that particular role. Yeah, it's difficult to do, especially if you are someone that doesn't have experience or that doesn't necessarily have confidence, but to kind of fake it till you make it, or make out that what you've got is slightly better than what you've got, to kind of just get yourself in the door, and then once you're in, then you're not going back. So that's kind of what I did. I didn't lie, I just kind of twisted the truth a little bit and said some things to get me the different experiences I got at university, to get me on the experience ladder. And then once I got all those experiences, then I didn't have to lie or twist the truth anymore, because I then had experience, which I'm very thankful for to this day. That was all of my questions. Like I said, this is kind of a bit of, I would say, a YouTube comeback, but again, I don't know how long I'm going to be gone for. until I post another video. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed that video. I know a lot of the questions were not specifically related to university, it was more kind of me, but also at the same time, this was me while I was at university, or kind of looking back on university, maybe the things that I would change, or how the experience was, or the things that I did. So yeah, if there are any specific questions about my experience, or any specific topics or things that people would like to know about, where I can do a whole video about it, let me know and I'll try my best to do something. I don't have a structure, I don't know when you're going to see me again, I don't know what I'm going to be planning. I do have a few other video ideas that I will be trying to post as soon as possible, but I do know that Big Brother and Love Island are actually both coming back in 2023 as well, so I will probably do reaction videos or kind of reviews of every single episode, because like I said, one, I know reviews and reactions do quite well, but secondly, I would like to give my own feedback and kind of opinions on those things where I can just speak freely, rather than just in a 200 character tweet where I can literally say like nothing. That is everything from me today. Like I said, I did actually skip over a lot of the questions because they were quite boring, and hopefully this video will be less than half an hour. If it's more, I'm really sorry. Enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon or evening, and I will see you very soon. Cheers for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and until the next time, see you later.